We left our sticks and bricks in North Alabama and arrived at the NIRVC in Nashville in 3 hours. That was non-stop. We did have some rain on the way, but it cleared up once we got closer to the facility. NIRVC works with any brand of motorhome that you might have. They had a variety of motorhomes there. Most of them were Tiffin or Newmar. Last night. So when I came in, you see the little open spot at the very end right down there. That's where the gate is. You come in through the gate and come straight to the service waiting line. Go in and get checked in, find a parking spot and set up for the night. And so we're going to go in and check things out. They have a waiting lounge and fresh coffee just waiting on me. And they're going to show us where that's at when we get in here. We enjoyed working with Frank Hatram, who is our service advisor in the Nashville location. We made a call to verify that they could do the work and then set up an appointment. And when we arrived, we were a day early, so we checked in, but the next morning they were ready for us. And they had originally quoted a day and a half to do the job. I personally thought that was a little much, but at the same time I wanted it done right and not take any shortcuts on that, because that's a serious safety issue. They are that. This is not only a repair center, but a location to store your motorhome if you don't want to keep it in your driveway. Their facility has 189,350 square feet under roof in the Nashville locations. It's a gated entry to the campus. That's for safety, and there's only one road in and one road out. So we felt secure in staying there in our motorhome the night before they pulled us into the work area. We had no noise. It was pretty quiet. So we enjoyed our sleep. We just had electricity, so we were able to stay cool. We had what we call a airplane bath or a military bath the next day. They have facilities in Louisville, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Las Vegas, Nashville, Phoenix, and Washington, D.C. They work on everything that a motorhome owner might need. Now that's what you call a real lift. It looks like the thing's on rollers too, so once you got it lifted, I guess you can roll it around through the shop. I need one of those at my house. Anybody need a set of tires? Just happen to have a few laying around here. This is the indoor storage compartment where people that can't store their motorhome at home in their own property, they bring it down here and let them hook it up indoors under the roof. Massive, massive building.
We had made reservations at Cave City RV Park way before we decided to get our brake controller fixed or a new one put on. so just so happened NIRVC finished up the install the same day that we were supposed to be at our Cave City campground.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like...
We left our Sticks and Bricks 2 days ago.
Yes, 2 days ago.
Our intent was to stop at the NIRVC Indoor RV Center to get some modifications done to the Jeep and the brake system between the motor coach. I like the Air Force One brake style because it proportionally brakes the car at the same force that you're braking the motorhome. Plus, I never have to touch it. When we tow up,
Praise the Lord.
Hook the air hose up and we're good. No more brake buddy, move the seat back, put the brake buddy in, grab the claw around the brake handle and adjust everything, run it through a self-test, and then
you still have to do that first thing that we did.
Yep.
Mash the button and put it in.
Yes, you have to put it in tow mode still. The Jeep has to be put in tow mode. So we did that all day, completely all day.
All day.
And we were wondering if they were going to get done before they actually closed so that we could leave to come up here. Where we're at now is Cave City. We're at our Cave Country RV Park in Cave City, planning to go see the...
Kentucky.
What'd I say?
You never said Kentucky.
Cave City, Kentucky, to go see Mammoth Cave.
The night's young, and it's just begun. As she puts her hand in mine, we wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake.
They have a workout room, game room. Check this out. This is very nice for a very small campground. I don't know how many sites they have. Maybe 60, 80. I don't know. This is a very nice little room for get-togethers for small groups or families. Pool table. Access to the swimming pool looks like. Picnic table out here.
Okay, you're welcome.
Y'all got a really nice place here.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Cave Country RV Campground. That's their maintenance shed, looks like. So they have propane back there. I didn't notice that before, but you need propane before you get back out on the road. They got that. About to go for a walk for the morning. Waiting on Miss Daisy to come out of the... I'm Hulk and she's Miss Daisy.
Yeah,
Hulk drives her around.
You're my Hulk.
Yeah. We want to show the site itself. Here's the road that comes to the campground, so it's more or less the driveway. There's not a lot of traffic on this road except for customers to the campground and service vehicles and all. You can see there's plenty of room to have a grill or a picnic or something under your awning. They do not like you parking on the grass. Can't blame them for that. So we were on site 33. I think originally when they had us booked, we were on 12, but because we came in late and after hours, even though we notified them that we were going to do that, they moved us to site 33, which is still a pretty fantastic site. No problem with the site. There's 2 rows here. They're all pull-throughs. Then the center between the 2 loops is the entrance and the store, camp store, registration office.
When we start planning a vacation, what we do is Wayne usually uses his software to find 4 hours away. 4 hours is the most we like to drive. So when he pinpoints where he wants to stop over for the first stop, then I start looking for places that we want to go to have fun and do things that we normally don't get to do. So on this trip, we decided we would go to the Mammoth Cave National Park. It became a national cave in 1926, and it was fully established in 1941. There are 14 tours that you can take. Some of them are easy, some are medium, and some are very hard. Some of them even crawling tours where you get down and crawl through the cave, which not me. I'm too claustrophobic. So out of the 14 tours that they have, we chose to do the Frozen Niagra tour, which was supposedly an easy tour. You get on a bus that takes you to the entrance, which is, I don't know, about 15 minutes away.
So folks, how many of you, have any of you been to Mammoth Cave before? Okay, good. So folks, if I repeat anything, I apologize, but it's one of those things. But, Mammoth Cave, tourism has been going on here since the early 1800s. Now, for a long time, the only quote-unquote authorized way was through that historic interest center. That was where cave tourism began, and where the main cave owners, in a sense, where they more or less did their cave tours. And where most people, especially by the 1920s, most people, when they said Mammoth Cave, they meant, the historic entrance, the old historic route. But by the 1920s, you had more and more cave operators here that, they were all competing with each other. Now, some of them, it turns out, were owning what we now call the Mammoth Cave system, like what we're about to see. So technically, one could start at the historic entrance, travel miles and miles on the ground, pop out, and then exit through here.
Watch your head.
Yeah, that's the cave. Wasn't that safety?
It was about
Stay
to.
here too long, just enough to get the group together, and then immediately we'll leave. On the way out, I'll talk, but walk with a stoop sometimes. Yeah, that's a good idea. Our policy is that you need flashlights, that's fine, as long as you plant down. And you need them. Honestly, that's probably going to be the darkest area.
The tour that we took was an hour and a quarter long, and there was 162 stairs that we had to go down, which didn't seem too easy to me, but we made it just fine. It's $26 for adults to get in. The cave is 426 miles long. It's the longest known cave in the world. The park itself is 52,830 acres. We had a really good time that day. At the very entrance to the thing, they were looking for a bat. They had to get the bat cleared out before we could go in. So after their searching, they didn't find that, so we went in. And you go for a little while and look at all the pretty things, all the stalactites and stalagmites and all that. And then you go down more stairs where it shows you the frozen Niagara, which was very beautiful, especially since we were going to go to Niagara Falls in a few days too. We enjoyed this tour very much. After we got out of there, we wanted to see where the main entrance to the cave was. And we walked and we walked and we walked. He told us we could go to the overlook, but we didn't find that. So we actually ended up walking down to the mouth of the cave. which was about 20 or 30 degrees cooler than it was up there at the very top of the walkway. So we stayed there for a little bit. You couldn't go in. You have to have a tour to go in the cave at all. But then walking back up the hill to get out, we were dying for breath. We had to stop a couple of times to get back up.
Enjoyed the scenery.
Yeah, we stopped to enjoy the scenery. But we had a really good trip, and it was a good day.
Nice and cool down here.
Our hearts beat to the city streets.
Well, I'm not climbing up there to see it now that I'm down here at it.
We rise like
It's about 10 degrees cooler right here. Oh, wow. It's about 20 degrees or 30 degrees cooler right here than it is. I wish you guys could smell that. Smell or feel that. The cool air has a smell to it, like a fragrance or a fresh snow or something. Oh wow, look at that. That's the main entrance. So when we parked right next to the building up there, and we thought we had hit a miracle of a spot that we got the third row from the building. The building is actually about a half mile from here, and here is the walk to the boat tours.
And here's parking right here.
Yeah. Somebody could go get the car and bring it back here so we don't have to
Yeah,
walk.
why don't you do that?
We got the Carolyn Hardcastle Bridge.
Watch out for the go-kart.
Yep. Monument that says protecting a natural treasure. Walk across the bridge to get to the boat tours. Hang out over here with everybody else. After we finished the Mammoth Cave tour, we rested that evening, had some barbecue, and we got up the next day and drove down to Bowling Green from Cave City. It cost $23.95 for adult to ride in the boat in the Lost River Cave. It's 57 degrees there year-round. The entrance has a ballroom area which will seat up to 300 people with additional room for dancing. They were setting up for a wedding while we were there, and it was pretty impressive actually, with all the tables and chairs set out and the ribbons and streamers. Apparently they were planning a wedding that day.
All right, can everyone hear me? All good? All right, welcome. You are now standing in our cave. Kind of. A long time ago, this was actually part of the cave, though. It extended all the way out here. That was up until millions of years ago when the cave ceiling collapsed, leaving us now with this nice karst valley. If you don't know what karst is, it's basically a type of landscape. It actually makes up around 20% of the Earth's land. And it's characterized by holes in the rocks where acidic water has kind of eaten away at the limestone. And when it eats away at the limestone, it leaves off a mineral called calcite. And that calcite is what ends up in our water, giving a blue hole its blue color. And we also like to call this blue hole, we like to call it a karst window, because it's a window into our underground river. So most of the river is underground. This is one of the few spots where it pops back up on the surface. There's 3 other blue holes like this one on the property as well, where that river pops back up. And we actually have a lot of history with this blue hole. If you didn't know, we actually did have both sides of the Civil War here, not at the same time. There are no battles or anything. But they did like to camp out in this valley. And there was a story that one day, it was a hot summer day like this, a few soldiers, they were coming down to our blue hole for a swim to cool off. And they may have dove around in there a bit, trying to reach the bottom. But at the end of the day, they were never seen from again. It's believed to just be a tall tale that they told to get out of the war. They would just have a friend tell their officer that they disappeared in this man-eating hole and then run over the hill. But people heard about that story. They heard about this man-eating pit. And so they got curious. They wanted to figure out how far down it goes. So what they did is they put a rope around a rock. They threw the rock in. They figured however far it goes, that must be the depth. They make a mark on the rope, stretch it out along the river walk. And what they got from that first measurement was about 437 feet deep.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive, right? Now this part.
Ripley's, believe it or not, claims that this is the shortest and deepest cave in the world. It was a Union and Confederacy both campground, outlaw Jesse James's hideout, and in 1930s swinging underground nightclub to get around the alcohol prohibition area. We did meet some very nice people. They were from Cuba, and the father was a Baptist preacher. Norma made friends with the young lady. They were very friendly, outreaching, and hoped they had as good a time as we did. The whole point is you walk down a hill a pretty good ways, and you get in a flat-bottom boat, and you have to bend over double to get under the roof area to get out in the open area of this running water cave. Norma panicked just a little bit for being claustrophobic and having to bend over and couldn't straighten up. But we were only in the cave. The whole event was only about 20, maybe 25 minutes. So you're only having to bend over double for just a few minutes to get back to the wide open area where you can straighten back up. Maybe a minute at the most, I guess. Anyway, we had a wonderful time, and then after we got done with this, we left and headed up to Cicero, Indiana, on our way to Bremen and Shipshewana area.
Tight. And up ahead, you'll be home free.
It has to paddle back if the motor dies.
All right, and everyone is all clear. Welcome to Lost River Cave. You made it. Cool. All right, so go and take note of these old steps back here. That's from an old walking tour during that nightclub era. They would take you up those steps to that same entrance. It was all part of the Jesse James walking tour. I'll get into more of that later. But I will say, every cave in Kentucky has a story about Jesse James going there. Back during the cave wars in Kentucky, everyone was trying to get people to come to their cave. I'll get into more of that on the way back though. But for now, our first stop here is going to be our flow stone. Any guesses as to why it's called that?
Water's flowing.
Water flows? That's right, it's water flowing over stone. It's pretty simple. Basically, over long periods of time, water will eat away at limestone, and it'll bring off calcite from that limestone, that same mineral that gives our blue hole its blue color. And that calcite will make these deposits, make some nice formations over time. Down here, we have a brimstone dam with these rings. About every 100 years or so, this is going to grow about a cubic inch, so about the size of a marshmallow. And that right there is a nice healthy color for flowstone. That's what we like to call peanut butter brown. Don't put it on any sandwiches or anything. If you look over here though, that is an unhealthy color. That is a pollution scar from back in the day, during the landfill era. We believe there was oil cut in this rock. But you can see a bit of brown returning to that. That is from all of our conservation efforts. We are actually helping to heal the cave. Limestone actually has an ability to naturally heal itself, as you can see there. If we look up here, see our dragon head. Not a real dragon head, so. Or whatever else you want to make of it. Some people say it looks like a wildcat, some say it looks like a hot dog in a bun. Use your imagination. But you may have noticed, the ceiling's pretty flat. Not a lot of stalactites on there. That's actually because of that regular 100-year flood I was talking about, where the water will make it up all the way to the ceiling, and it kind of prevents any real stalactite growth over time. You will still see some lines of stalactites, but rest assured they'll be shaved down whenever that next 100-year flood comes by. But don't worry, that's not scheduled for another few minutes. 90 years, sorry. If you look up around here, you'll see a circle in the ceiling. From where the water gets high enough, it likes to form a whirlpool or vortex in the same spot each time. And you may have noticed a lot of breakdown of rocks around us. Right here, up ahead, is actually where they found the Volkswagen. Yeah, I believe there was an old ad at the time that said Volkswagens could float. And they sure could, for a while. I don't know why they had to advertise that. But you may be worried about rocks breaking down around us. There's actually nothing to worry about. It's actually a very long process for this breakdown to occur. We actually do also a geologist come down, make sure all the rocks in the cave are secure. Nothing's gonna fall on us.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine.